Hello my fellow weirdos, welcome back to my channel. For today's video we are doing a special review, which is why I'm dressed like this, because we're doing a review of 2018's The Love Witch. So if you are unfamiliar with this movie, this is a 2018 movie which was designed and shot very deliberately to look like it came from the 1960s. Not just in style, but in the methods of filming as well. It is full gaudy 60s Technicolor horror in all of its glory. The very initial shot of our main character coming down the cliffs in her little sports car with a very obviously pre-filmed moving background and her perfectly coiffed, beehive and lacquered nails and reds, everything matches and it's just perfect. It's perfection. Straight away you're like absorbed and transported back to the 1960s, to the point that you will probably have to look up the age of the movie again to confirm that it was indeed only filmed a couple of years ago. Yes, this movie has been out for a couple of years, but this is part of my random series of watching random horror movies and giving you reviews. So this is set, as I said, in the 60s with a witch called Elaine. Elaine is a love witch, as the title would prescribe. She's getting out of a terrible breakup where her partner mysteriously died, unfortunately, but it's made clear from the flashbacks that she very clearly murdered him. And she is moving to a new town to find new love, because that's all she wants in life. She just wants a man to love and to love her in return, and she's going to use all of her witchy powers to find it. We see her moving into this apartment and setting up her witch's station and getting all of her potions ready and then targeting men one at a time. And unfortunately, it never really goes to plan. She first sets her sights on a kind of 70s vibes professor called Wayne, who succumbs to her magic so well he becomes a needy, whining child who literally screams and cries for her so much he dies of a heart attack. When she leaves the room, he is that needy. So yeah, he bites the dust. Then we have the husband of a friend, a married gentleman called Richard. And again, he becomes so needy and whiny, she has to break it off with him. And that, imagine, doesn't end well for him either. And then finally, she sets her sights on a very hunky, square-jawed policeman. And she thinks she's found the one with this guy, but as you can imagine, it doesn't go particularly well either. It's a fantastic film. It does cover themes of feminism and, patriarchy and things like that, where we have Evelyn, who's got a very old-fashioned view of how a relationship should go, where a woman basically is everything that a man needs to be in order to keep him. And it all stems from abusive relationships in her past. We hear echoes of voices from her father and her ex-husband, the one that she poisoned. And it's revealed to us that she was abused and men have taken from her whole life. And now she's kind of choosing to take that power back by using everything in her arsenal to get a man and to take what she needs from him. So yes, she gives him everything he thinks he wants, the perfect fantasy, as she says, of a woman, of the love witch. She makes him his dinner, she gives him sex, she looks beautiful all the time, but it's so she can get what she wants from him, which is love and affection. She just desperately wants somebody to love her. So it does explore feminism in that sense. There's some exploration, as I said, of abuse, but really what this film is all about is the style. Anna Biller, the director, she also produced it, she wrote it, she designed the costumes, and you can tell that this was made with a singular vision that would put Quentin Tarantino to shame, frankly. Everything is perfect. Everything in its place, a place for everything. It is perfectly designed and acted and filmed to look like it is a Technicolor 1960s horror movie, a pulp magazine brought to life. Everything from the costumes, the hair, the makeup, the sets, even the way they act. The actors kind of act almost in a overacty TV 60s or play kind of way. And it just adds perfectly to this fantasy that she's created. But she deliberately slips in notes to let you know that it isn't, in fact, the 60s, that it was a modern day movie. The characters have cell phones. So these little moments will pop in where one of them pulls out a phone, and it's jarring, this sudden realization that you aren't in fact watching an actual 60s movie, and it just kind of adds, I think, to the overall sort of dreamy quality that she creates with the film. It's perfect. It is absolute perfection. The movie itself, obviously, you know, you've got your storyline, you've got your plot, you've got your kind of themes, but everything is secondary to this style, and sometimes that feels miserably for me. There's a lot of movies which to me are just style over substance, and it does nothing for me. It does nothing for me. You know, Baz Luhrmann is a prime example for me. His movies always look incredibly stylish, but no substance. The Great Gatsby was absolutely butchered by him, and it just did nothing for me whatsoever. It looked beautiful, but you might as well just sort of mute it. In this case, because of what the storyline is and what the theme is, the fact that you're so focused on the way that it looks plays perfectly into that, because that's what Elaine is all about. You know, she is thinking about her relationships on a surface level, on how she has to look and how she has to behave and how it all has to appear in order for her to like trap and ensnare this man to get him to love her. So the movie in of itself does that to the audience. It kind of creates this style, it creates this image to draw them in, just like Elaine draws her victims in. And then every now and then you get these little moments where it's like, oh, this is a trap, this isn't real, it's not the 60s. And it's just, oh, it's so perfect. Also, to be fair to Biller, this does have substance. The performances are fantastic. The storyline, you know, it is a bare bones kind of storyline. It is literally a love witch trying to, you know, find a man to love and then accidentally killing them. That is the storyline, but it is just so perfectly done. Every line, every shot, every set, every scene, it is complete perfection. It is the best movie I've seen in a really long time, and it does horror in a really gaudy, technicolored way, which, you know, I kind of miss. You know, I was raised on older movies, and I've seen a lot of those 60s, 70s horror movies, and they were so gaudy, and, you know, the color schemes and the acting was quite wooden, but they had a certain charm to them that modern films with all their sleekness just fail to evoke. And I think that The Love Witch perfectly recaptures that feeling and draws the audience right into that world. From that, like I said, that very first shot, you are completely absorbed into this world, into Elaine and her path to find true love. If you're expecting like a happy ending, this isn't going to be one for you. In fact, the ending doesn't really necessarily draw anything to a complete close. Spoiler alert, stop here if you haven't seen it, but it ends with her mimicking a painting she painted throughout the film, with her having stabbed her final love repeatedly in the heart. And the painting is of her holding the man's heart and him lying beside her, and she sits there covered in blood beside the man that she thought she was going to, you know, be in love with forever, perfectly satisfied with this, because this is the natural conclusion to that particular love. In this movie, relationships and men are something that you kind of use up until you've got what you want, and then when they aren't living up to your satisfaction, you throw them away, which is very much how women tend to be treated back then and today in society. You know, we are only as good as we are young, or as well as we cook their dinners or look after them. And so it kind of flips that around with her becoming what the men think that they want in order to get them, and then when she realizes that it isn't what she wanted, she's disposing of them like they're nothing. So it's a kind of fun reversal, and it just works. It just works so well. I would kill for every outfit. I want to be Elaine. Can you tell? Like, I've got my like little coiffed hair and my attempt at like 60s makeup. I tried to do the blue that she wears throughout the movie, and coloured eyeshadow just does not work on me. I don't know. I mean, I'll give it a go. The blue that I had was kind of a muted blue, so I think I need to get like a full-on teal. and get that on there and try to do the 60s thing. But I have my like 60s sleeves and I'm doing the whole full Love Witch thing. So yeah, I'm thinking this might be my new look. Maybe this is how I'll ensnare my next love. I'm not going to murder him, don't worry. Probably. We'll see. But that's it, guys. It is a solid 5 out of 5 for me. If you haven't seen it and you're a fan of that kind of technicolored pulp 60s, 70s horror films, then you need to watch this. It is honestly utter perfection. If you're just a film fan in general and you really appreciate a well-styled, well-filmed, well-orchestrated movie, then this is for you as well. This is the type of film that film students are going to be watching and deconstructing because it's just that well done. So I completely recommend that you watch it. For everyone in the UK, I watched it recently on All 4. It obviously had played on Channel 4, one of the 4s at some point, so it is available for free on All 4 at the moment. I'm not sure about other streaming services, but it's worth renting if you have to pay, trust me. But that's me for now, guys. If you liked this film or didn't like this film, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on it as well. If you would please subscribe, I would really appreciate it. You know, subscribe just for me, for the Love Witch. Thank you. And like, comment, do all that jazz. And I will see you next time. Bye.